Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Anime Secrets podcast, JoJo's edition. I don't know why I messed up my own words there. Anyway, today we are going to be looking over one of the stands I've been looking forward ever since I kind of read the synopsis of the stand names, Notorious B.I.G. But before we get any further ahead, introduce my two co-hosts, Anthony and Connor. How are you guys doing?
Yo.
I'm doing good.
Ciao bella.
Rock on. So, yeah, last episode, Narantia took out the two members of the boss's elite guard, and now they're hopping on a plane to Sardinia to discover the boss's identity. But first, they had to deal with a peculiar fellow who literally just went out there to die. What do you guys think about the episode?
At first, I was like, you go ahead.
Man, no, you go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
At first, I was like, okay, what the hell's this dude's deal? Is he just, like, getting shot and this thing is a decoy? And I was like, what the heck is this pineapple homie doing? He just walks over and like, hey guys, what's up? Oh, God! And then he dies, straight up.
Yeah, like I said, the dude just straight up went out there just to get offed. It was hilarious. I'm like, oh, this is the next villain, and he's dead.
Yeah.
Mista was able to shoot a guy without getting effed up for once.
And you know how often that happens a lot in this part. And I'm just like, yeah, this is actually kind of a win for him. But, and what really interested me was the fact that this dude like didn't really have like a set goal. He just wanted to straight up just like walk up to him, and like he had several warnings. It's like he wasn't warned and say, hey, I'm gonna keep Mista told him, like, I'm gonna keep shooting you if you don't back up. He just kept doing it anyway.
And it made me wonder, like, I wonder if the stand at first I was thinking, like, is there some dude that maybe is making duplicates of himself and the duplicates can die but he won't take any damage? It's JoJo's, so my head goes weird places. Like, this dude gets pasted, and I'm like, okay, so there's got to be a catch. Maybe there's going to be another duplicate of him somewhere.
But that wasn't the case here.
Yeah, no, it's just like, wow, they just really blasted that dude. Okay.
Yeah, the catch we did end up having, though, was well, let's just call it how it is. It was the Blob. Or
basically
the Thing.
The Thing, that's what I meant to say.
Major throwback to the horror classic John Carpenter's The Thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a highly influential horror sci-fi film. Definitely you can tell Araki liked it a lot. A lot of other horror manga, probably, I would say especially, Parasite, totally inspired by The Thing. And so we have a stand that kind of acts like The Thing. It imitates or like it transforms a lot.
It transforms a lot and is very, 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 very hard to kill.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
a small little note here. His name actually is referred to as Dead Meat, which is actually ironic because the guy that got shot, his name is called Carney, I think it's called, and it translates to either
Carne.
Dead Meat.
Carne is like cooking meat, like chili con carne,
like dead meat, like basically like dead meat or like meat. So
I think
kind of ironic.
I think the basis of the stand was just named after the album Life After Death.
Yeah, it's also true. That's also been told in the notes as well.
This stand goes out to everyone who's lost someone.
That's Puffy, baby.
Right.
Well, we're still talking about Biggie. Yeah, so it is so hard for me to not just call. I'm probably just gonna have to call the Stand Biggie Smalls or Biggie from this point on, because like that's what I always called him. I never called him Notorious B.I.G. I always called him Biggie, even though I was more of a West Coast, Tupac guy. Mad ups to Biggie. Hypnotize. Excellent.
Right. Oh, that was definitely my favorite. Yeah.
That's a great album. But back to the Stand itself, just we get back to the body horror elements that Part 5 seems to be really like showing up with almost every other episode, it feels like, because they look inside the fridge and they see the Stan Carne's like fingers, and it's like, oh, what in the world?
So there were his sticky fingers, but a bump.
I don't think they were quite sticking at that point.
They were probably pretty dehydrated, being in a fridge in a pressurized cabin. You get to temperatures up there, man, you're going to be dealing with some pretty sallow fingers there. They're not going to look too good. You're going to have to stick them in some hot water, plump them back up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so we've got this, these dead finger parts that they turn into the Stand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then immediately we have this very quick, dangerous, fast moving Stand. The fact that it's kind of this liquid, basically gore mess.
Gloop, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It can stretch out. It's surprisingly fast. And then we figure out, or Giorno figures out, unfortunately a little late, because everyone gets... So I'm having trouble remembering who gets attacked first, because it does a number on the crew.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I think it attacks Mista first, then Giorno, and I think Narancia. Or
Well,
maybe
yeah, because Giorno... Well, because Mista shoots at it.
Yep.
And it manages to take his Stand out of commission, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah, because it's taken down I think like 3 or 4 of Sex Pistols.
Yes.
And then Narantia is trying to do something, and the thing just grabs Aerosmith like straight up out of the air.
And then Giorno realizes eventually, after they get pretty gravely wounded, this thing is attacking whatever moves.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a motion-activated Stand in close quarters. And they even mentioned this. They're like, shit, we shouldn't have taken a plane.
Mm-hmm.
Right. No, definitely. And again, like, everyone except Abakio, because I didn't even think he was in the...
Well, he was in the pilot. He was flying the plane.
He's flying.
Yeah.
So everyone in basically the passenger area just was not safe.
Yeah.
And
I think the plan was decided that run, the crew run to the cockpit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
gotta get to the cockpit and warn Abakio somehow. And well, Giorno is our only fighting man right now, so they've got to figure out a way to take care of this. They got to probably get this thing off the plane. And I was wondering why didn't Bruno just zipper it out of the plane?
Well, at this point, it's attached to Giorno's arm.
Yeah.
Oh, right. It attacked Giorno, and so Giorno...
Like, he has to cut off his arm before...
He cuts his arm off.
And also, the fact is, like, as soon as Bruno would have done any kind of movement, that thing would have just reacted to it. Because that thing is just going quick after anything.
Biggie doesn't fuck around, brings that East Coast,
brings that Queen's violence up into the place.
Yep.
Facts.
Come on!
And so, at this point, Giorno,
Giorno takes a hit, and he severs that arm, and they throw that thing out the airlock.
Mm-hmm.
But See, it attacks motion.
Yep.
And what's the fastest thing nearby
The plane.
but the plane?
Plane.
So we think everything's good, everything's fine, and then plane starts going down.
Yeah, I was getting some real gremlin vibes from the Twilight Zone
There's
when they
something
knocked it
on
out.
the wing of the plane.
Plane.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and let's talk about how one thing we totally just skipped over and I forgot about it.
Mhm.
The reveal, like all of that writing. The way we got one of the reveals was Giorno sees a ton of graffiti all over the place, and it's being written by that nasty thing hand on his arm.
Yep.
And that was just like, But like, yeah, they really went for like the horror. They wanted to up the panic factor. This is probably the most intense fight, and you can kind of tell that whoever is sending these assassins after them, the boss is not screwing around.
Yeah.
He wants them dead, and he is making very, very sure of it.
He is sending some top tier talent after them on this one.
So Giorno's messed up real bad.
Yep.
The thing is back.
And it focuses to one character who's kind of just been in the background.
Yeah. Who's left but Trish?
Yep. We finally get a focus episode on her.
Now, Trish, I've got a lot to say about Trish because first off, I love her design. Her design is probably my favorite of almost any female.
I like her hair.
In JoJo. Yes, I love her hair. I love her outfits.
She definitely has a sense of style, that's for sure.
Yeah. And I like her as a character because she's just kind of... She's going through all of this, and she's being faced with a lot of, terrible, scary stuff, but,
And the father you never met before wants to kill you.
Yeah.
So, she's got a lot on her plate. She has a lot she has to deal with. And now that she's faced with this, we're pretty sure it's been pretty heavily forecasted she has a stand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The episode that her stand reveals itself.
Yeah.
But here's the cool thing about that stand. That stand is such an amazing reflection of her as a character because first off, the stand talks her through whatever's going on. And since that is her, she's kind of talking herself into through how to use her stand subconsciously. Yep. Which usually when someone knows they have a stand, they're like, oh, it's this weird force that I don't understand. Or they're like, oh, I can control it. I can tell it to do things. Or I don't know what it does. It just happened because, in part 4, people were just being given stands with the arrow. Well, right. Trish is born with a stand, and she teaches herself how to use it, but talks her through this scary situation.
Right. It's similar to Koichi and Act 3, where he gets it, he doesn't know what to do, and Act 3 is kind of guiding himself how to do the things as well. Like, do you want me to attack him? Yes, do, and then the gravity effect with SHIT, similar to this one, where Spice Girl is just talking to her like, you're finally awakening. Let me show you how this is done.
Let's get it.
And so we have Trish facing off against this absolutely lethal, like, no joke enemy. Like, look at how badly it has wounded 3 of the former top people in Passione.
Mm-hmm.
Wrecked Mista, wrecked Giorno, wrecked Narancia pretty badly, and those guys are no slouches. Trish, what does she have? What can she do? Well, Spice The name of the stand, she allows, she makes things soft.
Mm-hmm.
Things that are soft bend, but they don't break. So when Trish is stuck, she's got to get, now something to bring up. It seems like Giorno is in bad shape because his arms are both gone. He lost both arms because it started out on, I think it was his left arm, and then it jumped over to his right, didn't it?
Yeah, and then he had to like cut off the stand with by the window to cut his other hand off.
Yeah, and so what Trish notices, he dropped a ladybug and he gave it life. Because I caught that too. I was like, he's probably not totally out of the fight because I saw that ladybug. And so Trish is trying to get to this ladybug, and whenever the stand attacks her, she gets out of the way because her stand makes everything like soft and cushy, and she can just kind of slide right through it like she's in a jump palace, like bouncy ball pit thing, whatever. And this is another thing about her character. Trish is going through a lot, but she is not breaking in the face of danger. She can bend, but not break.
Ooh.
She can take a lot. She's seeing her friends and the people who are swearing to protect her, people who have given up their connections to the mafia and their lives. Like, as far as anyone else is concerned, they're dead. Because the boss wants them dead, and you may as well write them off if you're in the mafia, if your boss wants you dead, and everyone else knows it. And she's seeing them get terribly wounded, mortally wounded, almost killed for her. She's not breaking down and crying. She's not, she was hiding in the closet, and then her stand, which is her, she realized the strength that she has to bend and not break. And that's why I love the stand. I love the stand's design because it's cute.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Trish's design because she's cute. But I love her as a character because she's like, she's young, but she's an emotionally, like, sometimes you don't need to be the strong woman. You don't need to be friggin' Wonder Woman and be able to like punch through steel walls or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't need to be Ellen Ripley and be a badass who can shoot a pulse rifle like the best of them. Sometimes you just need to be able to not go crazy in the face of danger. Sometimes you just need to be the one person who, when everyone else is down, you need to be able to
exactly. You don't need to
push through, and that's Trish.
Yeah,
and
you don't
that's
need
why
to be.
I love Trish.
You don't need to be Alien Ellen Ripley. You just have to be Alien Ellen Ripley.
Yep. And like I love, because that's, women in general face immeasurable difficulty every single day, and they have to push through that, and it's just, female and female identifying individuals, at least I would think, probably really like Trish as a character because she's that, that kind of strong, that kind of, well, she puts up with all this bullshit and she doesn't have any, I mean, she has a stand, yeah, so her stand is able to fight.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, and forgive me for going off on a tangent, but it's just, it's really great that Araki made a character like this. Especially in part 5. And it's, to have that kind of female strength that isn't just based around combat, that's based around not losing your head and around like being emotionally strong to push through and face danger and fight for the people you care for and to keep yourself alive.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's really important. Anyway, that's my end of fanboy gush mode for Trish.
For now.
Yes.
But we get to the part where she's, against the advice of her stance, she went into the closet to hide from Notorious B.I.G. at this point. And at this point, we learn that the only way to kind of even hurt the stand is to knock its own attack back to it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's still totally immune. And we get a pretty badass moment where Trish just essentially disintegrates that stand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But much like the Thing, it finds a way to come back.
And so I did say just a second ago, it's good to have that non-combative keeping your head in the game. But hey, when someone's messing with you, you kick their ass, and boy does Trish kick their ass. And she even goes from, because her stand, she locks herself in the closet. Her stand says, just do everything slowly. And so she slowly and carefully grinds a stick into it and then starts cussing like a sailor and pounds it into mincemeat.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, Trish can definitely dish it out. That's why she's best girl.
Indeed.
But as we soon find out, the Notorious B.I.G. just grabbed one of the engine turbines, because when she goes into the pilot cabin, Bruno and Abaki are like, yeah, we're losing altitude fast right now.
Yeah.
And, oh my goodness. What happens next is pretty amazing, because she goes from disintegrating the stand to tearing an entire plane apart just so they can get away from Notorious B.I.G. Like, the way she had the thinking there, like, she found out how it was attracted to sound. So she's like, okay, all we need to do to get away from this thing is make it just chase that plane into the ocean. And we get another battle cry, which, I'm not gonna lie to you, I had to pause, rewind. I'm like, did she just say what I think she said? And yep, her battle cry is "wannabe."
If you want to be
Be
my lover, you gotta get with my stand.
I forgot the lyrics now. Dang it. you messed me up.
Making stuff good, squishy. Friendship never ends.
My dad's trying to kill me.
Oh, so what did you guys think about what happens to Notorious B.I.G.? Because, man, that thing is just stuck in infinite in the ocean forever. Because it's just constantly chasing waves. A few ships here and then, but whew.
Becomes a literal mythical kraken.
Yeah, basically.
I thought it was kind of funny. I was just,
and it was kind of funny, but at the same time, I was like, "Oh, they got something. Like, Speedway Fetish gonna do something about that. Like, I don't know, but what would they do with it though? Like I said, it's pretty much invincible, but like, I'm not pretty sure that there's not no way to put this thing in space like the cars in freaking Part 1. I mean, I just don't know.
Send it to the moon and it kills cars. Except it wouldn't be able to.
Right.
They'd just be canceling each other out forever. Create a perpetual motion machine, lock them in a room. You have an infinite energy reactor.
So from there, we get a little sneak peek, because the boss still hasn't forgotten about them. and he is just gathering info on these guys. Like, what kind of stance am I going to be fighting? What are the chances that they'll be able to find me? And man, I am worried about Abakio because he straight up said, like, with Moody Blues, they'll be able to find out who I am. So that is my next target.
He is definitely the one that King Crimson has eyes for. It's not Bruno anymore. It's not Jordan anymore. Well, not for the moment. It's Moody Blues and Abakio. Those are his. Like that guy and his stand are literally the only things I'm concerned about at this very moment.
They are number one on his to kill list.
Yep.
And for a moment, I thought we were about to have a dead maid.
That's what I thought too. But then I'm like, oh, well, he just kind of just like disappeared, and because I remembered like he doesn't like attack just anybody. It has to be someone who actually like was in his
somebody
business.
it's somebody who poses an immediate threat who's not going to lead others to him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, an old maid's not gonna like especially since like she's not even like really a threat. She didn't even see who the guy was. She was just kind of just like she even apologized like, I mean, true, and she closed her eyes. Like, I think if she had kept going into the room, she might have died.
Mm-hmm.
But he uses King Crimson's ability to just boop, erase enough time that she's just like, huh? Why was I going in here again? Oh, that's right. Oh, okay. Doesn't see a thing.
Nice.
She's like, forget about it. The room's already clean.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are two pretty good back-to-back episodes. What'd you guys think? We'll start with you, Anthony, and move on to Connor.
I want to say one funny thing. So, like, Basic King Crimson is basically like an easier way to like clean your room when your mom just like comes in your room and she's like, "That's when you clean this room." Oh, your room's clean. Never mind. And also, the episodes were very, very good. I love the fact that Trish has been able to hold her own against Notorious. Well, I'll call him Biggie. Against Biggie. And the fact that she finally like is able to like have confidence that she can do this, because even Bruno's like, wow, she's definitely changed. Like, she's not, I can no longer call her damsel in distress anymore because she holds her own.
I was a damsel in distress, and she was the one who saved me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Connor?
Obviously, I love Trish. I really liked her. I really liked her growth as a character through the whole series, and I don't know. It's cool to see a female character be mainline. Like part 4, we got some real cool ones. Yasuho was pretty great. Ayatsuji was really cool, but like now to have someone in a second arc who now this is about her.
Right.
Like this could just as easily have been her story from the start.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And it's really cool. I don't know what to say other than I love Trish. Also, I gotta just say a couple words for the stand, because seems like yesterday we used to rock the show. I laced the track and you locked the flow. So far from hanging on the block for dough. Notorious, they got to know that life ain't always what it seems to be.